Use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
Agent, before we send you out in the world, we must make sure that your mission is intact.
Yes, ma'am.
Agent 1, what is a touch?
Physical contact, ma'am.
Agent 2, what is a good touch?
Touches that make you feel alright, ma'am.
Such as?
A high five, a handshake, even a kiss, ma'am.
Good. Now, Agent 3, what is a bad touch?
Touches that make you feel not so good, ma'am.
Like a slap, a kick, a pinch, and most important, if someone touches your private part. And what do we do when someone gives us a bad touch?
You tell a trusted adult, ma'am, for help, ma'am.
Tell them, don't do that, ma'am. Agent, I see that you understand. Now it's your mission to spread this information. Just remember that good touches are
okay
and bad touches are
not okay.
So, Agent, go spread the word.
Yes, ma'am.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Talk about it under conversation. When you need a little motivation,
Shall we all need this motivation today, eh? Ooh, welcome everybody. Welcome to the conversation. How are you all doing? Hope you're enjoying your day and having a wonderful Thursday. Ladies, how y'all doing? How's everybody around the table? How's your Thursday going? Is it a terrific Thursday for everyone? Or are we just making it? Because I'll tell you, Club One look like they just, I don't know. Club One trying to do me right. Sean, yes. This, I need a deep tissue massage, please. Anybody? But yeah, you know, just a wonderful day. We are grateful for an opportunity just to be alive and to be healthy and to be awesome. Yes. And to stretch ourselves yet in another way, because like today's conversation is, you know, about that, man. It's secrets to maximizing your femininity and attractiveness. Yes, so that you win in every arena, so that you just win at everything, and not being so. Kissy, do you think Bahamian women are more masculine than feminine?
It all depends, Shenique, of the situation. I mean, sometimes Bahamian women find themselves having to be, you know, like a man, you know, because they don't have that, you know, that person in their life to be a man. So they got to do the things that, you know, normally they would want a man to do or need a man to do. They got to step in. So I would say we play the role of what we have to play. You know, basically.
Well, Daz, do you think that's a cop-out, though? Do you think that Bahamian women have too taken on this masculine exterior, not caring, not checking, so-called, and you know, hey, whatever. Like, is it a bit much that it's more to their disadvantage than advantage?
Well, boy, that's such a nuanced question, because yes, I do feel that Bahamian women, we tend to be a bit too masculinized. Very, very masculine in a lot of instances. Whether or not it's encouraged by circumstance is another topic. But to answer your question, just as a yes or no, definitely yes. There's a lot of improvement that we could do in that arena.
Shauna, where are you on that? I like your colors, by the way.
Yes.
Very feminine.
She tries to be very Jill Scottish.
Yes, she is so
Yes,
beautiful.
try. She's doing it.
Yes.
I was very surprised at the topic, to be honest, because I got a reminder last week that I am a bit masculine.
Oh.
Honestly.
And you see, it could come because you're a business owner, and you could get stuck in that sort of that mode so easily, because then you about your hustle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But then men don't always appreciate that. You have to know how to turn it off and on. Right. But at the same time, I also saw that in my household. My mother is an executive, you know, and she is used to dealing with a bunch of men, and maybe sometimes being relegated to, oh, you're just a secretary. No, but I help sign your checks, you know, and then having to be that level of aggressive. And that's what I saw. And so not realizing that that's what I also was perpetrating. Not realizing.
Interesting.
Something almost a learned behavior.
Absolutely.
And that right there is not the best thing for us. A lot of us, particularly black women, are around so many other, and I don't call that strong, you know. It's not strong to be gruff and masculine as a woman, but we have lived that, Yvette, so all our lives that we learn that. We take that into our relationships, we take that on the job. Mind you, there is a thin line in terms of in your profession or on the job, but we take that everywhere and we figure, well, this is who I am, accept it. This is just who I am. This is what I do. This is how I am, that kind of thing. But that doesn't always look good, eh?
It doesn't. It really doesn't look good. And I think the key, too, is knowing how and when to turn it off and turn it on. Because you have to, we are women, we are feminine, we are who we are, and we have to display that. It has to be seen, it has to be heard in our voice, it has to be displayed in who we are. And so I think the key is just knowing how and when to make that shift to bring on that femininity.
And not be afraid of it either.
Not be afraid of it, embrace it.
Yeah, not be afraid of it, because a lot of us are afraid of stepping into that, afraid of really showing your true light, your essence. Well, today
I think
we're
it's
talking.
beautiful to be a woman, Shenique.
I think so too.
I think I give God thanks that I'm a woman, and I must say,
Every time? Like every.
Well, to be honest with you,
every day of the month.
Today was a very rough day. I'm going to say this. Women deal with a lot of emotional stuff. We
Men
think
too.
a lot, we think a lot, we carry a lot, and sometimes it's very difficult to, and I like the topic that you sent me about, today's show, to make, what makes a woman like attractive and that kind of thing, so she could win in, every arena. One of the things that I like about myself, and I wouldn't tell you no lie, is my ability to get up, no matter how low I get.
How low or hard you fall.
I just love that about me, and that was not always my story. But one of the things that, that has, that got me to that place was, my relationship with the Lord and everything, and coming to know who I am as a person. And I value that about myself. I cannot give up on me. I've had people that has given up on me, and I've been rejected and that kind of stuff like that, but I cannot do that to myself. I feel like for me, I'm like my biggest cheerleader, as it relates to keep to go. And my inspiration comes when I also inspire others. And people may not even know it. Some days when I would post something on Facebook, saying to someone, don't give up, it's because I'm feeling at that moment that I really want to give up, you know what I mean? And so that's where my strength comes from, when I inspire other people or even encourage them or listen to someone who's going through something and give them some type of encouragement. So I just, to me, I love that about myself.
So ladies, when we talk about secrets to maximizing femininity and also attractiveness, it's a girly topic. It's a woman's topic, obviously. But the thing is, it's one of empowerment and one of taking ownership and embracing who we are and not letting anybody fight that. But many women have a difficulty even identifying what those traits might be and how to access them and then embrace them and make them our own. So let's just perhaps begin at the beginning. How do we begin to, we talk about, femininity, for example, or if you all want to start at more habits to adopt in being in making yourself attractive. And it doesn't even have to be outwardly. It could be a combination of a number of things. Maybe we start there.
I think for me, one thing that is so sexy, Shenique, is self-confidence. When a woman has self-esteem, she could be the ugliest person ever. But with that, with that self-confidence and self-esteem, she walks with her head high and, you can't change her mind. You can't deter her. Like, she knows who she is, and she walks with that self-esteem that boosts every area of her life. She just, so I just think it starts with that. Just once you have that confidence and know who you are, you can take on the world, I believe.
And I think we should define what femininity is as well, and what it means, because a lot of times femininity is seen as outward appearance, florals, girly colors, looking a certain way, when femininity is more about you as a core person, your personality, your attitude, your tone of voice, how you relate to other people, how you handle conflict. It's so much more than just, because usually women have the outward appearance nailed down. They say, well, I'm always in a skirt, or I'm always in heels. I always wear makeup. Yeah. That does not make you feminine, right? Yeah. That's just the trappings and signals of femininity, but it's not actually making you feminine.
I totally agree, because the thing is to nurse that, or treasure it, and find the things around you in your life that would help nurture that, and even expand it and make it bigger. I mean, some of the things we do, like, for example, some of the things I do, meditation.
Oh, yeah.
The beach.
Grounding.
Yes, that's my love.
Just really, really, those are some things that bring it out.
Yeah. And it's a struggle to stay in that feminine zone, because we live in a country that's not really very supportive of feminine women.
Yes.
In terms of, protection, care. It's not seen as something that is desirable to do. So you live in a country sometimes where there's conflicting messages, where it's actually praised for you to be more masculine, for you to be like a breadwinner, for you to be, this hustler. And it's actually more encouraged than you being more in your feminine. Yeah. If you catch my drift. So it could be a definite conflict between trying to balance, all of the things that you need to do, and then remaining kind of in that mode. It could be quite the balance.
Kizzy, you do a lot to kind of hold on to who you truly are, your essence, and to bring out that thing that makes you magical.
Yes. Shenique, one of the things that I do daily is I go to the beach almost every day. And I take that time to let that, I just cannot even describe the beauty of it. I, allow that to enter into me, because sometimes as women, we tend, like I said in the beginning, to take on so much, and then we have to, make everyone think we are okay, And I would say this to my sisters out there: listen, there are times when you're going to need to pause and take some time for you, and get yourself together, inside, because you cannot be all things to everyone and nothing for yourself. That's damaging. And so what I try to do daily is sometimes before I even start my day, or even throughout the day, I would go by the beach and sit down and, have a talk with God, or just sit down and meditate or whatever. And for me, that really, really helps me. So, and I'm into a lot of, I listen to a lot of motivational speeches, daily, to help me to keep me inspired too, because I'm into motivation and things of that sort. So I listen to people that, inspire and lift and keep me going, and that's what I love.
Absolutely. Today we are talking about the wonderful traits and the great, just wonderful habits that you can adopt and begin implementing in your own life to make yourself not only more feminine, but more attractive at the same time, and not just an outward thing, but inwardly, to get you where you need to be, that you shine in every arena that you're in, everywhere you find yourself. We are going to take a first break this afternoon. When we come back, we're going to get started, really, really start getting into this topic. Don't go anywhere. This is The Conversation. Stay close.
Meanwhile, Bahamian Shanae Miller-Ubu broke a 16-year-old Commonwealth Games record as she clinched gold in the women's 200 meters final.
The Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale was developed in 1971 by civil engineer Herbert Saffir and meteorologist Robert Simpson, who was the director of the U.S. National Hurricane Center. It was introduced to the public in 1973 and began to be widely used a year later. Inspired by the Richter scale that measures earthquakes, the Saffir-Simpson scale was divided into 5 categories. Originally, the Saffir-Simpson scale also included predicted barometric pressures associated with the various wind speeds, as well as the relative kinds of damage that could be anticipated. However, because those predictions were found to be very inaccurate, just a few years ago, the warning system was changed to include only the wind speeds, which were also adjusted upwards in the higher categories. A Category 1 hurricane has wind speeds between 74 and 95 miles per hour. A Category 2, 96 to 110 miles per hour. A Cat 3, 111 to 129 miles per hour. A Cat 4, 130 to 156 miles per hour, and a Category 5 hurricane will have winds from 157 miles per hour and up. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Agency.
G&M Appliances on Robinson Road has all your air conditioning needs this summer, like the Comfort Star 9000 and 12,000 BTU 13 SEER for just $3.99. Or how about the Comfort Star 18,000 BTU just $5.99? Or how about the Comfort Star 24,000 or 36,000 at the lowest prices possible? We also carry a large selection of air conditioning parts such as fans, compressors, filters, capacitors, or any part you may need. So, call today at 328-2083. We're located on Robinson Road.
At Mydens Wholesale, the concept is simple. The more you buy, the more you save. Yes, the more you buy, the more you save. This means that at Mydens Wholesale, when you buy in the same group 3 products, you get 15% off, 6 products, 20% off, and 12 products or more, 33% off. Mydens provides you with the largest selection of pantyhose, socks, t-shirts, school supplies, underwear, and much, much more. You can also sign up to be a reseller of BTC and Digicel top-up and to save 33% on your purchase at Mydens Wholesale. We also ship to the Family Islands, and that's not all, because when you shop at Mydens, you can pay your utility bills, send MoneyGram, RIA transfer, and purchase tickets from Sky Bahamas and Western Air. So visit Mydens Wholesale today at any of 3 locations, East Street South, Robinson Road, or Lower Bogey, Luthra. Call 325-4434 or 676-4435.
Hi, I'm Stuart Cove, and for many years, I've taken pride in introducing young Bahamians and international visitors to the wonders of our Bahamian underwater world. Our marine ecosystem helps to keep our tourism industry and fisheries sector healthy and lucrative. We must all do our part in protecting it for future generations. And that is why I ensure our staff and customers are taught about the importance of coral reefs. I do this and more to protect our underwater life because I care. Do you?
Right here, man. Oh, not the cold one.
Busted! Busted! Don't you know you guys are breaking the law by not using your seat belts?
Man, Charlie, man, I'm using my seatbelt.
Wrong!
The seatbelt is not for opening your alcoholic drink. It is for saving lives. And by the way, for those of you who continue to drink and drive, we're on the lookout for you too.
Wow, I have never do. Somebody fuss me with that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the conversation. Hope you all are doing great today. Today we are talking here. The ladies are here, and you know what? I don't know if I had them introduce themselves officially. Everybody spoke, but I don't think we did. And so I will go around the table and just have you meet these ladies. But we are talking today about feminine traits, and particularly in this society where like Kizzy pointed out, women have had to adopt a certain image or adapt a certain image to feel as though that's how you get ahead, that's how you handle it. And even not even so. It is just, I don't know, the Bahamas is not very conducive to a feminine woman. And the thing is, you almost seen as weak. or taken advantage of by, say, other colleagues when you are very soft and demure, but not really, because operating that way is really a position of strength. And it shows that you are really the strongest in the room. I've known many people like that who've honed in on that and had that as their personality for years, and unapologetically. And so the thing is, and that is what today we're discussing and encouraging and inviting. And so listen now, I'm not sure where we're streaming live today. I know that we're streaming live on YouTube, ZNS Network Bahamas, ZNS Network, so certainly you can tune in there. I'm also streaming live on Shenique Miller The Conversation, and so welcome to today's show. I would like to start with the lady whose first time it is on my show, I believe. And so introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about who you are.
So my name is Yvette Farrington Clark, and I am a certified etiquette consultant. I've been doing etiquette now for the past 11 years, actually. And I remember starting out with the little girls in the school, but now, since etiquette itself has evolved over the years, because we're in a total new era with a changed world. So my etiquette now takes an approach where I've incorporated some of the mental behavioral changes to enhance the etiquette skills.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
So this show today is right up your alley then.
Right up my alley.
That's good to hear.
Yes, it is.
That's good. What do you tell women about, do you do most of your work here? Because I know you work both here and in the U.S. When you tell women here on how to just sort of embrace the wonderful delicateness that you as an etiquette consultant teach?
Well, I'll tell you this, Shenique. What happened was, several years ago, well, I told you I started teaching etiquette, and etiquette has evolved over the years. But I learned in the past, like about 2 or 3 years ago, I learned that since things have changed, I was teaching them how to groom themselves, how to walk, how to talk, and how to do all these external things. But then I realized they were lacking. Something was lacking. Both in all the sessions that I teach, something very important and critical was lacking. And that is that mentally, emotionally, psychologically, they were not getting it. So I had to incorporate that to make them a whole person, so that when they step out.
So even before it became what it is now, you were bringing this element into it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I started to, because I realized something was lacking. You can't just walk right and pretend to talk right.
Yes.
But there's no essence. You don't get it inside. And so I had to transform everything and just get them inside and out.
Interesting.
Beautiful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And very necessary.
Very
Odas, let's meet you.
Hey, Shenique, this topic, oh my goodness. This is one that I've actually researched kind of like secretly, you know, because it sounds strange when you bring it up. Shannon and I have discussed this before when she introduces herself, but the topic of femininity, I think it's a topic that's it's more of like a concept, and it's something that's not so obvious a lot of times until you get a lot older and you start to become aware of differences in women and their behavior. So I've done also like little social experiments, like I've gone, 2 months without wearing heels to see how I was received. And then I did, the heels and the
hold on.
Bahamians
noticed the difference. And what did this experience and experiment reveal to you?
So the social experiment actually ended about 3 weeks ago. I did it for the majority of the summer months. So I did about 3 months. So I did May, June, July, right? And what I noticed is when I was dressed differently, if I was dressed more feminine, I was actually received in a different manner. More doors were held open.
Yes.
More, you would have more persons.
Different.
Yeah, at the local coffee shop, I didn't pay for any like beverages for a while. It's just a completely different reception that you get. It's very interesting.
When you took the time to wear the heels, to do that kind of thing.
Do the heels, you do the pencil skirt, and you do the full face of makeup kind of thing, a very small feminine bag, and you wear, different like colors.
So hold on. So this don't work if you have this big tote on
well,
you
it's
every
a lot
day.
harder with the tote because it's not as delicate, right? And then I'd read articles about it, but I said, I'm not sure if this is actually true. So I wanted to go ahead and choose, go ahead and do it for myself. And when I wear like flats and, capris and cardigans, the reception is different as well, too.
How was the reception then?
It's still nice, but it's not that over the top fall over themselves to open the door for you. You don't really get that aspect of it. It's just, it's moderately nice, but it's not people going the extra mile, and not just men, women as well
Women
too.
as well.
Yeah.
So how do women respond and treat you though?
They respond either very favorably or very negatively. So it's usually not a neutral response, which I found to be very interesting. So it's almost like, so other women who look similar, right? A lot of times they're encouraging. They're like, oh, I love your shoes. That's a nice purse. Oh, you look really nice today. That kind of thing. And then a lot of women who were not dressed as feminine, they either look at you with kind of like admiration, like, okay, you really look nice, or it's you're really doing too much. You could see it in their face, right? Like, what is all of this get up necessary?
Did color and the choice of color, meaning the choice of color for clothing, have any bearing? Did you notice a difference when you wore, say, a dark color versus nice, bright, springy colors?
Yes. So when I wore brighter colors, peaches, pinks, corals, I was much more approachable. Persons would feel much more comfortable approaching me, including children as well too. Younger children, babies, persons would respond. The older persons as well too. I just was approached more, either for someone asking a random question or, a good morning. When I wore dark colors, because I did a couple months of doing like a suit. I don't know if you would have seen me about in a kind of like a coat jacket. I don't know if you remember. I was wearing like
I don't, because I just remember the bright colors.
Yes.
Like how
See,
Sean is wearing.
nobody even remembers that. So I did like the suit, the black
So you're all
pencil pants.
standing, because you're right, because I commended her with her color, yeah.
Correct. So when I did like the blazer, the black blazer, and the solid colors, and the black pants, and just the basic black pump, I was overlooked a bit more. But when I went in business meetings, the response was very different as well. So when I'm in bright colors in a business setting, I am not as taken as seriously, right? It's more questioning the abilities of certain things. It's a lot more distracted as being received. But when I was in, the suit, the blazer and the pumps and the black.
So a woman can't be in a corporate setting in, say, a green pant and a coral.
You can.
Coat, but would she be taken seriously?
Well, studies show that how you're taken, the seriousness of the role you play actually mimics the way how you look. So studies have shown that it's a lot harder for women to get promoted to sometimes a very high executive position looking extremely feminine. Long straight hair, long curly hair. You'd notice a lot of times women in executive or high power positions are very tapered bob or short haircut, or it's a very muted, understated style. You can't look as wildly feminine. It's not really encouraged. You have to kind of channel the whole pantsuit, like Hillary.
That is very
I don't know. Has that not evolved though? No, it hasn't, because
it will never.
Like, let me tell you, I'm in a let's say if I was a real corporate, of course I'm entertainment, talk show host, entertainment. So people expect me to embrace trends and not be trendy, but embrace trends and keep it as Shenique, my own thing. But if they don't mind, okay, this hair color, for example, they don't mind that. But I don't know if I was strictly corporate, or if I become corporate, that I want to have that very tailored bob. I don't mind wearing some hair here, as long as it's nicely and neatly maintained and that kind of thing. I mean,
if you want to be promoted the right way. If you want to be promoted the right way, you will embrace the bob. If you don't mind how you get this promotion, then by all means, wear long curly hair.
That is more about the exterior than the interior. Isn't that something? I think that is where the problem really lies right there, Shenique. That people they look more on the outside than they do on the inside. And I think some women too, what they're doing is covering up the inside with making the outside look good.
Yes.
And the inside is completely destroyed.
Margaret Elizabeth agrees with us here, said, nope, I would not be promoted for that hair. Hold on, you mean this one right here? See, this one. Wow.
What happens though, Shenique, is that a lot of times, colors bring attention. It can be distracting. Sometimes the colors can
in the real corporate setting.
Yes, in the corporate. And generally, I mean, if you have a neutral looking, a black hair, it doesn't draw attention.
Yeah.
But that color, if it's red or black or something, you get, it draws attention. And so that's why the subtle blackness is
Shauna,
there.
Introduce yourself to us and let's hear you.
Odaz and I are friends, right? Because this is Shauna Edgecombe, y'all. This is why Odaz and I are friends, because I also pay attention to how I'm received when I wear certain things, right? So, like, you know, wearing a dress, wearing heels, a skirt, whatever. Now that I think about it, there was a period when I was dressed very corporate, but I put my own little spin on it. I had my red hair or whatever. But at the same time, a lot of times I didn't pay for coffee shop stuff. It was, oh, no problem. You straight. You got what you want today. You want a venti. You want a grande. You want the large.
And a pastry.
No problem. And a pastry. Thank you. You know, and then I moved away from that. I went through a season of, you know what, I don't care. I just want to be comfortable.
You look like now you have a mix of bohemian and structure.
Yes. So I've moved to that intentionally. But I went through a period and then it was like, I was like, well, God, am I here? Am I, you know?
Nobody's seeing you.
It felt like that in comparison to how it was. And so now I've found the mix of the two. But what I do is, even if I wake up and I don't feel good, that is when I overdress. And then it helps me carry myself better, and then people respond to me better if I overdress. We have to admit, y'all, that whatever your version of that power suit is, mine is a power suit, where you feel really like feminine and all of that. You carry yourself differently, and because you carry yourself differently, people respond to that.
And that's what I'm saying, though, ladies. Can Shauna not wear her power suit, hair styled this way, and her chunky jewelry on the power suit, and be respected in the corporate setting?
Well, no.
You cannot.
But yes,
you
at
would
the
not.
same time. So how I introduce myself now is, and for those of you who don't know, I've had pink hair, almost white hair, red hair. I now have like dark with a little bit of brown blonde tips. I address that monkey in the room. If I go on an interview, if I'm talking to a potential client, I say, listen, I'm a creative. And how I express myself is through my hair. It has nothing to do with my ability to do the job. But I just wanted to acknowledge this in case you have any questions.
So when I first met Shauna, right? Shauna was in the whole corporate mode, right? The very fierce. And her hair was a complete contradiction. And I was like, me and her are going to be really great friends, because she was expressing duality, right? And I love duality in people. And I was fascinated. So Shauna can remember my very annoying questions and, you know, touching of the hair. I'm so sorry for those early days.
That's right.
But I was truly fascinated.
She was natural as well.
She was.
Yeah.
And her hair, when I first met Shauna, her hair was, I think, it had like a pink chunk or something in the middle. And I was fascinated because here was this very corporate, extremely, you know, intelligent, well-spoken, and her hair was pink at the top. And I didn't even think that someone could survive in a corporate environment, you know, with hair that was so expressive. But after I got to know Shauna a lot better, I realized that her hair, because she was such a strong boundaried woman.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Can that not be seen outside of the great suit, the nice pumps, the whatever, and here it is, she has this red patch or all over red. Can that not be seen, her abilities?
But personality, though. I think if you have the personality to carry that off, it received very differently. Yeah. Shauna is extremely in her speech, and she's not very overly solicitous to persons' compliments or their feelings about personality. Now I'm much more expressive than Shauna is, so I would lose my cool.
Don't let my hair or jewelry or loud lipstick or whatever this is. I'm a creative. Yeah. I am here to get the job done. I if you need references, I have those. I deliver. I am well qualified, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now let's get to the business of discussing what you want. That is amazing, and that speaks confidence. Whoever said confidence?
You know, I want to commend her for that because I the confidence, the level of confidence that she exudes is good. But I want to say this: the challenge with that people looking on at Shauna with all of her gifting and talents and abilities, there's a studies show that it takes 7 seconds to for people to size you up and to get the first impression of you. Yes. Without Shauna telling them who I am, 7 seconds, they size her up. I do this test all the time. When I go to speak, the first thing I'll say is, my name is Yvette Farrington Clark, and I'd sound a certain way, and I change the way I do because I want them. I'd say just my name, right? And I pause. And then I tell them, now, it takes 7 seconds to press. How did you view me? Who do you see me as? And some say you.
So Yvette, give us a run through. How do we command a room to introduce ourselves?
And see, this is why etiquette really means that's socially acceptable behavior.
Yes.
So what society accepts of us, sometimes we have to come up to that just to please them. Otherwise, she have to go overboard to tell them who she is. Because they're looking at her at a glance. And they already size her up like, okay,
now,
so...
And I want to ask a question, Yvette. In the Bahamas, I know Bahamas is different than the United States, but in the Bahamas, as it is in the Bahamas, would she be seen as a strong...
etiquette itself has evolved. Protocol, it's just, if we're constantly evolving, the world has changed, our perception as she is. But it's, I mean, and we're getting there. We're getting better. We're getting very much better.
The Bahamas is behind, but yes.
We are so behind.
Oh, Shauna, but I want to hear why Shauna says that, because perhaps she had a recent experience.
Absolutely, because I travel a lot too, and I see people, and she's conservative in comparison to what I've been exposed to.
Conservative, and that's
she's very conservative.
Relatively mainstream in the U.S. for Black women. But I'm just wondering, I know it's perhaps in some circles still like but I'm wondering in the Bahamas how it is, and so Shauna will explain it to us.
We're just getting there. We're not there yet.
As well. And the thing about it is, so I'll tell you what I think also some corporate circles in this country are also opposed to still. Tattoos.
Absolutely.
They look
tattoos,
at
earrings, everything.
Tattoos, like, you know, okay. The piercing, where you have these piercings? Girl, you cannot work at JP Morgan with a nose ring, a brow ring, a tongue ring.
I came back, and I'm conservative. I consider myself to be conservative. I came back with my pierced hair.
Too much. I'm sorry.
I came back with just a pierced hair. And they thought I backslid. Like, everybody's like, no, you did not. And I'm like, Jesus, it's just an earring.
Lord, I tell you. So
and I consider myself conservative.
There's the church politics, then there's the corporate politics. We're going to take a break right now. Margaret has been telling me to take a break for the last 3 minutes. We're going to take a break and come back with more of the conversation after this.
Hank Johnson. Now that Bahamas residents can fly or cruise free to the family islands, what are your summer vacation plans?
We're going to Neutral.
And there is no better time than now with the 2 Fly or Cruise Free promotion, where all residents of the Bahamas can fly or cruise free to the family islands from Nassau. Refresh, reconnect, and unwind in the family islands. For details, go to bahamasresidents.com and fly or cruise free to the family islands today.
G&M Appliances on Robinson Road has all your air conditioning needs this summer, like the Comfort Star 9000 and 12,000 BTU 13 SEER for just $3.99. Or how about the Comfort Star 18,000 BTU just $5.99? Or how about the Comfort Star 24,000 or 36,000 at the lowest prices possible? We also carry a large selection of air conditioning parts such as fans, compressors, filters, capacitors, or any part you may need. So, call today at 328-2083. We're located on Robinson Road.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
Welcome back to the conversation, guys. Listen, I love this group of ladies because they are all experts in their own way, and they do a number of things. Some are creatives. We have an etiquette consultant. Odaz is a marketing specialist and branding specialist, and also corporate trainer. Kizzy is doing tons of stuff. If you follow Kizzy, give us you didn't officially introduce yourself to us. Your handles on social media and what you do.
Well, I am an aspiring motivational speaker, and basically my page on Instagram is Life with Aisha, and I try daily to motivate and inspire people to believe in themselves. That's my passion. I love to build people.
Hi, Portia Newton, who is watching from Florida. Portia says that she thinks Shauna would be judged more harshly here, not in the United States. Hello to you, Angelique. Big hello to you. How are you doing? Yeah, Portia, on this page, we kind of show you the behind the scenes. Hello to everybody. Lovely Scavella, Laconia, also Lisa. We have one Troy Edward Clark that's watching. He's pretty excited for, I don't know quite the reason. Also, Inga, big hello to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So J Love says, I don't mind blonde, brown, or black hair, tattoos as long as they're small. Yeah, so Jay say he ain't need a woman with a tattoo covering all her back.
So no sleeve tattoos?
I'm not a tattoo person, period. I personally don't like to see them on women. If you get tattooed, that's you. But I just personally do not like them on women. I really don't even like them on men. But women, no. I would never put it on me.
We have Nicole tuning in and watching on the live feed. She says, life with Aisha is awesome. It's awesome. You do some good things, Kissy. And I love your pictures of the day, too.
Yes.
Constantly the dream of Europe.
Yes.
And you only stick to Europe. I noticed that. Fantastic.
Hallelujah.
Kissy, yeah, praise him. Kissy is very much ahead. And so, Sean, I know you wanted to jump in because Yvette was talking and we were saying, well, no, not. I mean, in the Bahamas, how is something viewed? Even though it's becoming a little more palatable, how is it viewed still?
I mean, natural hair is just becoming palatable, let alone colors. So I went natural in 2006, and I was berated at some point by someone telling me that I would never get ahead with my natural hair and having it low. Okay? So, yes, the journey, it's interesting in the Bahamas, you know, and the thing is we are fine with people from the outside of a lighter hue, however they dress,
and
however their hair is.
I like you said that because when, let's just say, a white, blonde, or however she has it 1 week and the next week, and she in a power suit as well, and she, you know, and don't let her have a little nip and tuck going on, she is prized in the office.
Right.
But it's seen as artsy, creative. It's absorbed in a very different light, for sure.
But yeah, when black people tend to hold each other to a different standard than we do to other people.
Yeah. It's such a shame. The self-hatred is just sad. So,
it's
you know,
very
it's
sad.
It's overwhelming.
You know, because I think you tend to miss the person when you just look on the outside. I think you tend to really miss the person. And I want to tell you that I'm very proud that you are confident in who you are and you are doing your thing.
Thank you.
I love stuff like that. Because I just don't believe that you should focus on a person's outside appearance to think that they're not able to do something because they look a bit different than you. You know what I'm saying? You'll be amazed at what people can do. You just don't know. And I think we tend to stop right there and don't go any further. I think this society, the Bahamas, does that.
Yeah.
I think we do that.
Very limiting.
Yeah.
I really believe that too. Because like I keep saying this, that how the world is changing and we must, and I go back to my original statement about finding the essence of a person. Once we get to discover that and see their beauty, that's amazing. But I traveled yesterday. I was back in North Carolina. And there's a Walmart that I normally go to and that I frequent. And there's this girl, whatever she is right now, that works there, and he's the friendliest, sweetest person ever. I mean, when I would go there, his name was Joshua. When I was last there in December, I'm noticing he changed his name now to Lily. Of course, Lily now has this nice, fluffy, bouncy-looking hair, wearing female shoes, and then the little nails. I know it's extremely over the board, but I want to say how our culture is different in that. Everybody that worked with him welcomed him, and he is like the best employee ever. So I'm just saying, I mean, I know that we're not accepting to everything, and I'm not asking us to accept any kind of thing, but we really need to find the essence of a person, and that's why etiquette now has transformed, and we now look at building the person themselves, and when they find their true self, they begin to, exude perfect etiquette, like everything, because with that confidence and who they are, they begin to walk and fulfill their purpose. So.
Inga says on the live feed, Inga says, I got fired for wearing, she says, I got fired for having natural hair a couple years back. They wanted me to wear a weave, and I wasn't going to do it, especially on their terms. J Love says, some of us can't get past the outside. Nicole, this is the live Facebook feed, says, I have several medium to large tattoos. It's what I like, but I do know that in corporate Bahamas, it's not acceptable. So they are where you can't see them. And I think that's where it should be. In any workspace, but especially in corporate,
distraction.
Yeah, keep
you
it.
Want to be moderate because you don't want to display a distraction. That's why I was saying about the gold hair and all that stuff. Even though we need to be our true self, there's a certain place for certain things. So if you have this bright hair, long nails and stuff, because like the guy I was referring to yesterday, he's your attraction. Everybody was like,
no, but he's an attraction in Walmart.
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
quite acceptable. You go to Walmart.
It's full of attraction.
You go to Walmart for entertainment.
Attraction in there, all kinds of entertainment.
Because if it's boring and you go, you wonder what the hell going on here today in Walmart. So he is the attraction there.
Yeah, but you want to be moderate and you want to avoid the distraction. And that's what I was talking about.
Yes, of course, yes.
I also want to add that I heard this secondhand, but I heard that someone was told they can't even interview with a particular company until they took braids out of their hair.
Or locks, correct. Yeah, that's pretty common. No, it's okay. It's 2018 here in the Bahamas. No. Let me say that differently.
Are you sure?
It is 2018 in the world. Here, we are about 1970.
No, not the 70s. Not the 70s.
30s, honey.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
You don't think so?
Yeah, it can't be that far back. No.
90s.
No. These girls are
early
exaggerating.
90s. Early 90s.
Boy, 90s.
Y'all have obviously not done banking here. But anyhow, I digress. So the thing about it is, so I tried another experiment this summer. I did purple hair. And I did braids. And it was not like a Shana purple. It was a kind of a dark, purple, and again, received very differently. But I think what I recommend to clients of mine, because when you're trying to build a brand, right, depending on the industry that you're in, sometimes it's easier for you to do the work and look very neutral and fit in. And then when you ascend to the position that you want, you break out the tattoos, you break out the color hair, you break out. Now, for certain industries, like creative ones, out of the gate, you should stand out, right? You should have some definable feature. You shouldn't look, because that's correct. It's a first impression. But I think the choice is different depending on your career path and depending on what you want your brand or your professional life to look like. Because I'm sorry, if you want to be a high-powered attorney, in a certain sphere.
I don't need to see no high-powered attorney with no nose ring.
A nose ring. Yeah, it's just not going to, you're not going to gain the confidence.
I would not go to that person.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So your confidence is going to be.
Why not? You're flipping looking silly on me with all that going on, and I come to you for legal advice, expert legal advice and representation.
As I was talking about, people who go through all this extreme, they are usually the most creative people. They're
be
talented,
creative,
they're
and do your be creative and do your poetry.
Brilliant, yeah.
Listen, do your poetry.
If you're a brilliant lawyer, absolutely, you could represent me with your septum ring.
But see that again, that first impression, it takes a while for people to soften up to you because of all that extra. Yeah, that's true.
Well, there's another way that could be balanced as well too. So if you have a client, right, already, and you're in the corporate environment, then you should look corporate. But when you go boating on the weekends, because I do know attorneys that have tattoos, but you don't see them until they go play golf on the weekend or they go boating, because usually your clients, if they're millionaires of a certain a certain income bracket, they're gonna look like that. So it's okay to kind of like what they say, business in the front. You remember when they used to call them mullets? Business in the front, party in the back. That's quite fine, but it's just in certain, you blend. So you have your tattoos where you could put your sleeves or whatever over it, and then on the weekend when you're golfing, boating, dining, you wear your regular short t-shirt code switching. And I could think of a few attorneys that code switch, and you would never know that they're an attorney on the weekend, but during the week they are the most corporate, very muted, professional thing that you can imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. J Love says first impression is a must.
Yes, absolutely,
and it's true.
I believe that.
We can want to resist it.
I believe that.
In certain industries, hey, be as creative as you want to be and do what you do. But in other industries, we know that like Inga said about being fired. Losing a job because of unnatural hair some years back. Certain industries, I'm not sure which industry it was, but you just know what's accepted, what's not. Maybe it's a little different today in 2018, but there's still some level of expectation.
There is some level of expectation. You still have to stick with protocols and societal norms. And you still, etiquette again is socially acceptable behavior. So it's the behavior that's accepted by society. So, when you're home, because I always teach us, whenever you're home in the house, you can pretty much get away with anything and do anything. The downfall to that is that because if you practice it so much at home, when you get out in society, you'll be doing the same thing. If you're always eating with your hand at home, when you get out in public, it becomes a natural habit.
Yes,
so practice it at home so that when you go
makes
out,
permanent.
Absolutely. So when you go out, you know how to just flow with it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, listen, thank you all so much for this first hour. We're going to continue after the news update in the second hour. This is The Conversation. Today, we're talking about the feminine traits you need, the attractive traits. And these ladies are going to give some point forms when we come back. But the traits that we all need to be a little more softer. J-Love, what do you think about that? You think that Bahamian women need to be just a little more feminine, a little more, as we present ourselves. And then also, what makes you attractive? It has nothing to do with how you look. Well, outwardly, nothing at all to do with how you look, but all to do with a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. The conversation comes back after the news update. Stay close.
Getting stronger and living longer. Let's figure out the questions for ya. I need a little conversation. You need a little conversation. When you need a little inspiration, tune into the conversation. Talk about it on the conversation. When you need a little motivation, life is better on the conversation. Tune into the conversation. I need a little conversation. You need a little conversation. We can go far with the conversation. Here with Shenique on the conversation, yeah. Here with Shenique on the conversation, yeah.
The views and opinions expressed on this show or program are not a reflection of the Bahamas Radio Network, and as an extension...
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. I'm Amajal Knowles with your ZNS News headlines at 5 p.m. The Public Hospitals Authority is advising that contrary to information circulating on social media, PHA has not implemented a new fee structure for dialysis wheelchair services at the Princess Margaret Hospital. According to the PHA, transport services are being provided via private services at prices determined by the private contractor. And firefighters battling a blaze at a large warehouse located at Soldier Road Industrial Park late Wednesday night. 4 units were called to that scene. Find out what officers met upon their arrival coming up in the Bahamas tonight. And the NPSA men's playoff game going down to the wire with one team winning by a walk-off run in the bottom of the 7th. Find out which team managed to secure the 1-zip series lead later tonight. And that's a look at what's making headlines at this hour. For ZNS News, I'm Amajal Knowles.
G&M Appliances on Robinson Road has all your air conditioning needs this summer, like the Comfort Star 9000 and 12,000 BTU 13 SEER for just $3.99. Or how about the Comfort Star 18,000 BTU just $5.99? Or how about the Comfort Star 24,000 or 36,000 at the lowest prices possible? We also carry a large selection of air conditioning parts such as fans, compressors, filters, capacitors, or any part you may need. So, call today at 328-2083. We're located on Robinson Road.
At Miden's Wholesale, the concept is simple. The more you buy, the more you save. Yes, the more you buy, the more you save. This means that at Miden's Wholesale, when you buy in the same group 3 products, you get 15% off, 6 products, 20% off, and 12 products or more, 33% off. Miden's provides you with the largest selection of pantyhose, socks, t-shirts, school supplies, underwear, and much, much more. You can also sign up to be a reseller of BTC and Digicel top-up and to save 33% on your purchase at Miden's Wholesale. We also ship to the Family Islands, and that's not all, because when you shop at Miden's, you can pay your utility bills, send MoneyGram, RIA transfer, and purchase tickets from Sky Bahamas and Western Air. So visit Myden's Wholesale today at any of 3 locations, East Street South, Robinson Road, or Lower Bogey, Luthra. Call 325-4434 or 676-4435.
Hi, I'm Stuart Cove, and for many years, I've taken pride in introducing young Bahamians and international visitors to the wonders of our Bahamian underwater world. Our marine ecosystem helps to keep our tourism industry and fisheries sector healthy and lucrative. We must all do our part in protecting it for future generations. And that is why I ensure our staff and customers are taught about the importance of coral reefs. I do this and more to protect our underwater life because I care. Do you?
What you saying? Right here, man. Oh, not the cold one.
Busted! Busted! Don't you know you guys are breaking the law by not using your seat belts?
Man, Charlie, man, I'm using my seatbelt.
Wrong!
The seatbelt is not for opening your alcoholic drink. It is for saving lives. And by the way, for those of you who continue to drink and drive, we're on the lookout for you too.
Hank Johnson. Now that Bahamas residents can fly or cruise free to the family islands, what are your summer vacation plans?
We're going to Luthra.
And there is no better time than now with the 2 Fly or Cruise Free promotion, where all residents of the Bahamas can fly or cruise free to the family islands from Nassau. Refresh, reconnect, and unwind in the family islands. For details, go to bahamasresidents.com and fly or cruise free to the family islands today.
G&M Appliances on Robinson Road has all your air conditioning needs this summer, like the Comfort Star 9000 and 12,000 BTU 13 SEER for just $399. Or how about the Comfort Star 18,000 BTU just $599? Or how about the Comfort Star 24,000 or 36,000 at the lowest prices possible? We also carry a large selection of air conditioning parts such as fans, compressors, filters, capacitors, or any part you may need. So, call today at 328-2083. We're located on Robinson Road.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular...
Welcome back to the conversation, everybody. Hey, listen, today's show is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance, Almighty Computers, Myden's Wholesale, USA Flea Market, S&M Uniforms, Money Managers, GM Appliances, and Club One Fitness Center. By the way, I want to say a big, big hello and welcome back to Portia Fernanda. Portia's been out for roughly 2 months, and so she's back today, first day back. She even looks a little brand newish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She look a little brand new, or walking with a ton of energy. Let's just see her next week by this time, right? She's just walking. Shenique, what do you need? What's happening? Guess what happening? What y'all need? Kizzy, do you need to go to? Yes. And so this is what she just full with energy. She had some time off just to take care of some stuff. And so Portia, welcome back. Also, Margaret Elizabeth is hanging today. Boy, Margaret, I don't know. You ain't been playing no music, because this could play their music with that,
Yeah.
you know. But Margaret, yeah, you haven't been playing much music today, just the conversation stuff coming in. And a big hello to you guys. Nicole, Tisha, Inga, everybody who's on the live feed, Portia, all of them. Kizzy, they are looking, I don't know how they could see how short you are, but they're, everybody lives.
Yes, I am
fun.
very short, Bahamas. Listen, God, when God made me, he said, that's enough. No more.
Well, he knew it wasn't no more.
No further.
No, he did not, because you tend to be a handful at times.
Oh my God!
You tend to.
Big in stature.
She tend to be big right here, and personality. Miss Markey, thank you so much for holding. Welcome to the conversation.
Yes, Shenique. I listen to you all almost every day, and I enjoy the talks on the conversation very much.
Thank you so much, Miss Markey.
You're doing a good job. But I was reading some time ago about some moral and ceremonial laws that God had given Moses for the children of Israel, which is found in the book of Leviticus, chapter 19. And I was reading where he told the children of Israel, there's so many things, Cherise, but verse 28 I took note of that very much. It says, you shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor tattoo any marks on your on you. I am the Lord.
Hello? Yes, go right ahead.
No, that voice, and there's several other things that he said that the children of Israel, and I think it comes down to us. You know, I want us, when you have time, look at that chapter, because there's so many instructions there for us, and the Bible is God's word, and that's how we are to live. I heard, I think one of the ladies mentioned something about tattoos, and so I just thought I should call to remind us that it says that we are not to make any tattoos on our bodies. This is what the Lord says. He says, I am the Lord.
Ms. Maki, thank you so much for sharing and calling today.
Bless you.
Thank you very much, and bless you as well.
Ladies with you.
Yes, absolutely. Perhaps the Bahamas is just, standing, the Bahamas is very selective in the Christian principle, well, the biblical principles from the Old Testament, not grace. Not grace in the New Testament. Not grace in the New Testament. Selectively deciding that very authoritative, authoritarian, very religious of the Old Testament that they will hold on to. Forget that grace came about in the New Testament, and thank God for that.
Thank God for grace is
praise
correct.
Him, praise
Him. And then I hope they can also remember that when Jesus came, He said that I come to bring a new law, and He said that is that you love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and then love your neighbor as yourself. So once you can do those two things, everything else is wrapped up in that. The tattoo and all that stuff, He cares little about that. It's the heart that He really wants.
Exactly.
And so once we can get those two things done, I love the Lord with all your heart. I'm sure He'll guide you. He'll convict you about that tattoo if it's wrong. And then secondly, is to love your neighbor as yourself. Those are important.
As we talk about that, I like that you brought that up, because let me tell you something. The Lord cares more about what's in here than what's out there.
Absolutely.
And I think we as people need to be more caring about what's in here than what's out there. I mean, my hat's off to those who tattoo. I just wouldn't do it for myself, but I don't discriminate against you. I just wouldn't put it on my body. Personally, I wouldn't do it, but I like that she brought that up about, the Lord looking at your heart more than anything else, because some people are dressed up and got some bad, nasty ways, nasty attitude.
I saw that.
Can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the meanest people you could basically find.
That's right.
But we need to work on ourselves on the inside.
I saw that video with Bishop Roll, the singing bishop. But he said, everybody when they gold figs, well, Bishop Roll, they're saying this figs is not gold, but the attitude stinks. You know what I mean? You also did you all see that?
I mean, you dressed up to kill, but you just ain't got nothing going for you on the inside. And when you go home, you find yourself to be the most loneliest person in the world, because guess what? You just ain't even friendly. You ain't just nothing.
Very
and
hollow.
So we need to deal with the inside more than we deal with the outside.
Absolutely.
Well, I also want to add too, we have to remember that each of us is called to a set people, right? So there are people who the tattoos will appeal to a certain type of person. If you go with a button-down suit and you look all prim and proper, how you gonna go in the hood? How you gonna go in certain places and be attracted to you? Right. It's not going to work. So we just have to remember who we are called to.
Yeah.
And I think also too, when you are confident in who you are, you don't sometimes have a problem code switching just so that persons could be focused on a different message. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we can be very firm in who we are, but because of human nature, we tend to make assessments on how people look. That's just how we are. So a lot of times I think it's just no way to get around that. Your image is important. Your brand is important, and I think a lot of times we just need to keep that in mind, because we can get caught up in the conversation of, well, they should accept me the way how I am, but that's just not how humans work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so I think even if it's not something that's steeped in religiousness like here locally, I think worldwide you are assessed based on your outward appearance first, and then persons, after they make that assessment, they look on the inside.
We have Nicole, Pauline McAlpin, just number one, saying they love the panel. They totally love the panel and agreeing with everything that's being said here today. We're going to, of course, go into some pointers about, because after all, today's show is about and I forgot the exact topic, but embracing your femininity and also attractiveness to win in every area and every arena of your life and where you find yourself. And it's a difficult thing, it may sound so simple. Oh, please be attractive, put on something nice. Yeah, and you're feminine, you're a woman, right? But so many women get it wrong. And then some resort to things that are inappropriate in spaces. That breathiness and that kind of that's not feminine. Nor is it attractive. But some people have it confused of what it is. So when after this call, I want you all to talk about what is not feminine traits and what are not attractive traits before we go into traits that we all can kind of, and from nurturing the soul to whatever else, to bring more of that essence and beauty out. Miss Gator, thank you so much for holding. Welcome to the conversation.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Great, thank you. How are you?
Good. I missed most of it because I was out on the street, but I caught all of yesterday. Normally I try to get the ones with the foods and the health and stuff.
Oh, yes,
but
yes.
I know this has nothing to do with what you're talking about today, but please, I just need this answer because I've been doing this for years. I want to know the proper way to eat the banana. The gentleman mentioned it yesterday, but I missed that. He said when it started getting those little specks, those little dark spots, is that a good time to eat it?
Yes, that's the best time. That is when it is most, it is very sweet at that time, but it's also it is very, very nutrient dense at that time as well, when it has the black spots on there.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. At least I'm on the right track.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. So I'm tuning in. So that's the regular Wednesday programming then?
Yes, on Wednesdays.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much, and I love your hair color.
Oh, Miss Gator, listen. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. By the way, I want to say congratulations, because yesterday ZNS, the General Manager, Khaleesi DeVoe-Isaacs, and the ZNS team gave out 2 wonderful, nice totes. And the winners were Randolph Boland, his daughter, who's going into 6th grade, and also Bridget Williams. She won for her grandson, and they're headed back to school with wonderful, wonderful treats, exercise books and pens and pencils and rulers and highlighters and notepads, and just really a nice bag filled with goodies. Really, really awesome. And so kudos to the management team here at ZNS, and also just very happy to put a smile on the faces of 2 families as they go to send their kids back to school for this fall semester. And so congratulations once again to all the winners. J-Love says, I always tell people I have 3 personalities, one for home, one for the stage, and one for friends. J-Love is a creative.
Sounds so.
Yeah, he absolutely. Randolph Boland is watching, says, hello, Odaz.
Hi.
And so, listen, so Odaz, let's just, as we shift, you go ahead with some getting the points started.
Yeah, so being feminine, and we're talking just in general, right? We're not being specific to the workplace. So it's something that I feel every woman can always improve upon. But a lot of it is being soft. And when I say soft, not necessarily being soft as in physically but just having the ability to not be so hardened all the time, not be, so very cynical.
Cynicism. That's an ugly, Yvette, I saw you laugh. Isn't that just an ugly trait with our women?
Yes. And it's a
with
habit.
With this whole society, really.
Yes.
But with, the women don't need the cynicism.
No. And the thing about it is, it's so funny because living here can make you be very cynical sometimes.
And hardens you.
And it hardens you just because of the sheer misery index and the very difficult maneuverings that a lot of people will have, you know, from the traffic frustrations, just to the cost of living, to, you know, the availability of certain things that you need to make life a lot easier, you know, not having functional public transportation, which aids to the traffic problem, you know, the cost of housing. It's just so many things, right? But yeah, so a lot of that can make you be very hardened and very cynical. And another thing is just in terms of tone of voice, being very, very loud, being very crass. The loudness is just no, right? That's a serious thing. And the crassness, public crassness, you know, referring to one's own genitals in public or referring to somebody else's own.
Who does that? Women.
I saw that I heard that this morning.
Women do that.
I heard it this morning, actually.
You heard what did you hear this morning?
I was in the food store, and this particular lady was having a disagreement with another lady, and they were referencing each other's, you know, genitals and the largeness of it. And the lack of, you know.
How you know how large it is?
Well, they were making, I guess, educated guesses based on. I don't know. It's very scientific, obviously, right? But it was, you know, it was
in great detail.
In great detail.
No, but it's crass, and
it is crass.
And see if that, because I wanted her to break down that. That's crass.
Yes.
That is unattractive, unappealing.
Yes.
And
yes.
and let's even just talk about relationships. So many women are lonely and looking for love. I tell you this. Now, if you find a man still want to brush up on you after he didn't see you do that, but he's looking for peace. But a man who is looking for forever is not at all attracted to that.
No, the public crassness is just, it's cringeworthy, right? And even if, like, women joke about it, if you joke about it, okay, but, like, to actually be that way or to act that way in public, you know, it's not feminine at all. It just looks and sounds so bad. And also tone, being extremely loud in public, right? Where, I don't know if you've ever traveled to the U.S., but you could always pick up the Bahamians when you're in Walmart or Target, right? And it's the loudness, you know, and that also is, you know, not very feminine as well.
And do you find that kind of, it's different levels of crassness. You may not find some women who say carry a big.
Yeah.
But even women who you would think sort of should know better.
Yes.
Or act differently.
Aggression.
Have that very aggressive, very loud, very unpolished way of being, whether it's locally or abroad.
My mom used to call it Guinea, and a lot of it is even in the way how they maneuver. So, like last week, a lady pushed past me very aggressively to get in the front. I held the door open for her. And instead of her, you know, when someone holds the door, you then hold the door and then you thank them and you kind of walk through. Really? I held the door.
And that's another thing. It's almost like
that used to be.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like almost like, okay, well, thanks. You're supposed to do this. Now move. Let me get by.
And so that's what she did. She brushed it in front of me. Also, and I was shocked because she kind of like bumped me out of the way. And, you know, so rudeness is also not very feminine as well. And also not accepting compliments is actually not feminine, because if you can't accept a compliment, then that means that you're not willing to be vulnerable, and you're not in the receiving mode. And being feminine is very receiving. So if someone says, "Oh my goodness, that's such a pretty dress you have on. Thank you so much." Not this whole thing. You know, I didn't pay much for this, blah blah blah. That's actually
$20.
Yeah, this is only, so you're refusing the compliment. And that's a habit that is difficult
being able
to break.
To receive is very feminine.
Yeah, because feminine is a very receiving mode, and masculine is very giving. But some women do not want to be feminine because it's actually not an easy way to be. So a lot of women reject it and they prefer to be more in their masculine.
Well, let's just talk about what's not feminine. Oda started and she talked about the exchange of words, of cross words. Oda started that. Let's just go around the table. Etiquette expert.
Well, let me just jump on, and Dad said a whole lot just now. I'm hoping that people would hear what she just said. There's a book that I'm reading right now called Successful Women Speak Differently by Valerie Burton. I don't know if any of you have heard of that book. Oh, great book. Because she talked about the essence again. And two key things she said that women need to know is that once they can think differently and speak differently, they can influence the world. So it begins with that mindset, first of all, and then thinking again, because I still wrap everything back to that too myself, because once you can get your mind in the right direction, everything else literally falls right in place.
Yes,
And
it
then
does.
when you speak, and that we talk about this craftness that women do, that there's this thing that we do, and positive speaking can build yourself and others.
Yes.
So I mean, and oh Lord, and every time I come back home, there's this thing that I really have to try and adjust to is the negative speaking among.
It's a Bahamian pastime.
It's just a little too much.
It's a Bahamian pastime on social
It's
media.
It's just a little too much.
On social media,
Yeah.
you speak negatively to yourself.
To yourself.
I did a video before that your voice is the most important one you will hear.
It is.
Hear yourself telling yourself
absolutely
who you are, what you are capable of doing, what everything that you need. Is not only calling it into your life, Yvette, but it's also retraining your thoughts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's why I tell you with my etiquette training, it's more so let's get your mind right. Let's start working on that. And then we'll talk about how you should eat with your fork and how you should walk and all that stuff. Let's get the mind straight first. Let's work on that first.
Yeah.
So I've learned to culminate the both, but for me, it's just that we just need to change our attitudes and our behaviors, and then we can exude that grace
so the
and that femininity.
the feminine and the attractiveness start by you saying just changing our attitude first.
That mindset, change our mindset and change the way we talk. Those are two key things that also she mentioned in the book, and that those are two truths that I always held to. Yeah.
Troy says, by the way, Yvette, several of your students are watching and says to tell you hello.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
So Portia says, no type of etiquette at all. Any woman who talks that way can only attract the wrong man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Femininity is not, and I'm thinking of a particular person, I won't call the name, is using your feminine wiles and having them on display. That is something that is a big thing, whether that be in corporate or wherever else. We think sometimes that the tighter the skirt, the shorter the skirt, the higher the heels, whatever else. And I literally remember a man referring to this lady, and he said, listen, I cannot be alone with her. I cannot, I don't want to be caught anywhere in her vicinity and be just alone having a conversation, because that is going to have an appearance for me, because he was married.
Wow.
It was really bad.
See how people think?
So he is trying to say you want to even give an impression that he's even remotely attached just
and
by
the woman's
work.
appearance, everyone knows her by that appearance. That overly,
you see how it can make an impact?
The feminine wiles, yes.
Overly sexualization, with the appearance of being feminine. It's a masculine behavior, you said.
Because it's very aggressive, right? Also, women who tend to approach men, that's masculine behavior.
You mean in 2018?
Yeah, it's masculine behavior. It is what it is.
Some women ask men to marry them.
So,
I just
men
think
to,
that's crazy. I mean,
asking men to marry you, that's very masculine as well. And the thing is, they attract a certain type of man, and then they complain about the man they attract. So they act very masculine. They attract a beta man, right? They don't attract an alpha man, and then they complain that the man is not really a real man. Well, he is a real man, but you attracted a certain energy because you had all of the masculine energy. There was no space for any masculinity from him. Because you have all of it, right? Yeah. So he would be more in his feminine. Not to say that he is homosexual, but he would have more feminine traits. So he would be more of a beta man. So women who want alpha men, you have to remain in your femininity more than not.
But do men really want a feminine woman, though? That's why
alpha men do, beta men do not. Yeah, beta men don't really care. It's not a priority for them. They care about other things that are more partnership, more compatibility, but they don't necessarily want to be the man in charge. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on your preference. Not saying anything is good or bad, but it's what you want to do.
This is The Conversation. We're going to continue with Shana and Kizzy. We're coming to you in a minute. The ladies are talking about what's not feminine that we have observed in our society, what's not attractive. And then, of course, we have several tips. Especially, I'm excited to hear what you have to say, etiquette consultant here. I know Daz, who has done several experiments. Who does it? I know. Social experiments on herself in these summer months about and how she was perceived and treated, etc. We're going to take a break right now and come up with more of the conversation after this.
news, live, weather, sports, and entertainment. Wake up with the Morning Edition. Weekdays, 7 a.m., right here on the ZNS Television Network.
Hey, I'm Megan Shepard, a reporter here at the ZNS Northern Service. Did you know that ZNS is right at your fingertips when you download the new ZNS app? Miss something in our newscast? That's okay. Simply pull up the app, swipe, and you'll find all of our news headlines and highlights. So what are you waiting for? Download the new ZNS app today.
A lot of people are getting involved in these issues because they don't have a means to express themselves. We could deal with so many issues of violence that are going on in our community if we just give our young people in particular an opportunity to say what's on their mind. One thing I say is that one way or another, our youth are going to make themselves heard.
I always said that he was going to kill her the way he beats on her. But I never thought that this day would actually happen. So I prayed to God to deliver her, to deliver them. Isn't that all I could do? What would you have done?
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
There's a spark of greatness in each of us. That spark is called personality. Individual gifts and talents provide the fuel to set that spark ablaze. Each child has the right to an education which values their personality and nurtures their talents, while teaching them to be respectful to their parents and their cultures.
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
Tune into the conversation. Talk about it on the conversation.
Shall I tell you? Welcome back to the conversation, guys. Thank you very much, Margaret Elizabeth. Thank you very much, Portia. We are going, Sean, I don't know if you would talk about, what's the traits that are not. You talk about the fact that over-sexualization by a lot of our women who feel as though, well, it's just me being my feminine self. No, it's not attractive, it's not appealing, and it doesn't make you, and look how that person was treated by the men in her vicinity who worked with her. No, I'm married. I respect my marriage. I don't want this woman in the room with me alone.
Yeah. He's an intuitive man. Wow.
Also, being an alpha female, and I could speak from personal experience.
And see, those women like you don't know when to shut it off.
No, I was told last week. That I need to learn how to lotion and massage. I don't know, as Odas knows. No. I can't. It's either my answer is my answer, or I don't say anything at all. That's just me.
I'm real.
That's not real. No, wait a minute. Listen, y'all. How does Kizzy size up with it? But I'm real. That's just me. See, that right there is one of the ugly traits.
I try to be real, but in a respectful way.
There's more.
Some people can't take it, but I don't know how not to be me. You know what I mean?
I don't.
And I just, I don't know. Shenique.
Shana a little rough though sometimes.
I am rough.
You know,
I've
and that's
gotten
why
better.
I'm always prepared when I do ask Shana her opinion. I'm like, Shana, do you think I'm prepared? Because she is going to, there's no chaser, it's very straight. And the thing is, I always think that I'm very plain spoken, but I'm not. I'm not. Compared to Shana, I'm definitely not. And that always becomes clear. But one of the things, because it's not in style right now and it's not trendy to be feminine. It's actually more trendy to follow more of like the feminist movements, right? That's more trendy, you know, girl power, you know, looking very militant, you know, black strong woman who don't need no man. I don't need a man to do anything for me. That narrative now is the more popular, trendy, you know, girl power, et cetera, et cetera. And then you also have women who are burnt out from following that mantra as well, too. Because when you don't need anyone, you end up doing everything yourself.
Everything yourself. And
right?
you want to have a woman burnt out very, very quickly.
Yes.
Let her have to, particularly if she has someone or a baby daddy or whatever the issue is.
Correct.
And she is taking all that on.
Yeah.
She will doggone become the most angry, the most tired woman.
Yeah, and you have to kind of live and learn, right? Learn that sometimes when you're not tidy. But I will tell you this. The strong black woman, that is not a compliment, right? For women who are truly feminine, and I don't consider it to be a compliment because women, you know, not as young as our counterparts, even if we look younger, even if our skin looks younger, we are always the ones who grab hold of most movements, if you think about it. The black woman usually is the pillar of movement for anything, for civil rights, for even now when you see these images of black people protesting, right? The Black Lives Matter, who's usually at the forefront in the police's face, at the forefront protecting the men. It's the black woman. I do not like images like that. It distresses me greatly because the black woman in turn is not very protected by her community, and because she's the one at the forefront looking all militant, you know, with you know, looking like the one who should bear the brunt of all of the strain, and that's what you've seen happen, and that is also a remnant from, you know, slave, the slave mentality. Yeah, so it's not attractive being called a strong black woman. When someone calls me a strong woman, I'm like, excuse you?
Yeah, what am I showing you?
Yeah, like and I think, and don't think you're complimenting me.
No, not at all.
That is the highest level of insult, because what you're saying is I'm not worthy of the care and the nurturing that another woman would be allowed.
You know, and when you say slavery, some movies that I watched when, you know, back in slavery, it shows how black women were treated like they were raped by the white man and that kind of thing. So I feel like that was something that was created for back then, because they had to be strong even though they were raped and they would, you know, they went through so much, you know, and things were taken from them. So I think this is something that, you know, was way back, Shenique. And I wouldn't say, I agree with Odaz, but, you know, in some instances, you got to be strong. You know, you got to be strong. I mean, you know, you can't let, you know, life break you or cause you to go crazy or whatever.
Is that a different strength, though?
Yeah.
Is that a different inward strength that is very necessary by all of us, but not to let that dominate so much that we give off a crassness and abrasiveness.
Resiliency.
And that is what that's the one I agree with, because for me personally, you know, and you know, when you deal with people saying, "Oh, you're not going to be nothing," and all this different stuff like that, you got to believe in yourself. You know, that's strength. You got to believe in yourself. Despite all the things that is so negative around you, you could actually find some type of positive something within yourself to be a better person.
Okay.
You know? And so that's what I'm talking about. You know, I'm not talking about, oh, you know, you out there and you just want to be this big bad woman or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about finding that place where you could be strong but not overdo it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, when I was talking about strength and it not being a compliment, being resilient, you could be resilient and still very strong in a feminine sense, but I was using the word strong to mean very, I never cry, nothing ever bothers me. Yes. You know, I am always the one that the family comes to for strength and support. Yes. I pay, I help my younger family members who are young women with multiple children, even though I'm a single woman with no children. Kind of, you see that dynamic in the family where, you know, younger women kind of depend on older women in the family for financial support, right? Because they feel like they have to be the strong matriarch in the family, and I think that it's a horrible social construct. And I feel correct that more if the society would hold men to be more accountable, then it would be no need for that. But it starts with the women.
As Kizzy started this conversation by saying, "Oh, because Black women have had to." The reason Black women are not feminine and seen as attractive and wonderful, beautiful, wonderful things to cherish and take care of and provide for is because they have had to put on this tough outer shell because the men have so disappointed them and dropped the ball so much. And the thing is, and while that is true, that becomes compounded over time. Another failed relationship, another baby dad, whatever the situation is, and it becomes such a now tough outer shell that this woman is the least attractive there is. I mean, I do tons of research, and I do tons of research, reading, watching various videos, etc. And it's of course based in our neighbors to the north, but it's just disheartening to see men say that Black women, because of this lack of femininity, because of the fact that they don't carry themselves, there's no whimsy about them, there's no freedom, there's no lightness, they are the least attractive of any woman anywhere.
Here's two things about that. So that whimsy is very dangerous when you live in a very disadvantaged neighborhood. That woman is very vulnerable and would be harassed, raped, and taken advantage of constantly. One of the things that the more feminine you dress, and you will notice that men are much more aggressive with you. Very, 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 very aggressive. So the aggression level is turned up, right? So what two things. Number one, Black women who find themselves in that position, they have two choices. Either divest away from the community, right? Which means get educated, better yourself, move out of that neighborhood, move to a country where the ratio is not so concentrated, right? Move out of those areas, or choose men that are actually masculine and not what I call faux masculine. Faux masculinity, which is praised in the society, is the pants sagging, loud, drinking, carousing man. That's not true masculinity, right? True masculinity is being responsible for one's children, being strong, being a protective woman, not being an abuser of women, things like that, being a strong, protecting man. That is the actual masculine energy. So if women were to choose those types of men, the other men would in essence basically be filtered out because they would have nobody to choose with. So close your legs to those men. Do not choose them. Do not procreate with them. Do not have babies with them because they're not truly masculine. But you have to first, you have to first be convicted in yourself that those are not the ones that you choose. So I think once Black women choose different, divest away from these communities, make different reproductive choices.
What are you saying, Odaz? See, you like to drop a nice little phrases.
Shenique's got me imaginary.
Not divest away from these communities. What are you saying in plain speak? In
plain speak, I'm saying to Black women that look at the masculine traits first, and then the race of the man second. That's what I'm saying in plain speak. Because a lot of times Black women feel pressured to stay, within their race, and they end up choosing men that are not necessarily the best for their social, mental. I think that men should be treated individually, not just ranking and race first and then traits second. That's what I think.
So date outside your race.
If they have to. If you can't find it within your race, then be open to that because, like I said, the community is not going to improve if you stay with men that treat you badly. That's not going to improve at all.
Children see it, and they're raising young men and women who think that behavior is normal, and they perpetuate the cycle.
And the cycle continues.
I feel like a father plays a very, very, very powerful role.
Absolutely.
In the girl's life as she grows and mature into a woman.
Absolutely.
And in most cases, and I'm going to be very honest, my father wasn't there for me when I was younger. He was there for like my other brothers and sisters and everything. He was there. But for me, that was a challenge for me, Shenique. And so I had to learn how to forgive that absence and become the person that I am. And I feel like that is what in many cases have a lot of women where they are. that absence of a father, you know, that caring, and because that's the man that she's going to know first. So if the man that she knows first is absent, all men are going to be absent according to her, you know, and so it's something that goes on. Trust me.
I'm listening, and the thing is, I admire Kizzy for her strength. Women go through so much. Just in conversations with them, they go through so much. I mean, they're abused. It's just a whole lot of stuff. And but I was just thinking about a certain scripture that says, I think it's Ecclesiastes, somewhere in Ecclesiastes that says, there's a time and a season for everything, a time to love, a time to hate, a time to sow, a time to reap, a time for everything. And so I want to draw relevance to that scripture in saying that when women have to portray these two roles, the masculine side and the feminine side. They have to think balance and try to know when to portray each one so that you know how to meet the demands of society. Just know how and when to be that strong person, know how and when to be that mild feminine side, know how and when to pull out all of those various sides.
But then my question becomes, who is going to tell you that you're off
And I was just going to say this. My other point is, sorry, Dad. My other point is that these things are learned behaviors.
Of course.
You know it. You know it. People tell you. You hear it. You hear people talk about your hair. This is nothing. There's nothing to it. It's mild. But people say it. You hear it in conversation. You see by their attitude. They look at you. You hear certain things. You know when you're a little not pleasing to society or whatever.
You need a bit of realignment.
Yeah. So you hear it, and so but every behavior can be learned. You can adopt new, just how she draws strength to become who she is and her self-confidence. Everybody can learn a good, positive behavior to help them to rebound and to be successful in society.
Naughty Dread says, I'm a bit shocked by the revelations coming out of this discussion, to say the least. Would I be offensive if I to say that all the women on the panel tonight are strong women? Hello to you, Leven. Hello to you, Ray Dawn. Ray Dawn says, love the show as always. Hey, Vet. Hi to you, David. So Tyrone Miller says, the feminist movement is surrounding white women's struggle, but black women's struggle is, in theological circles, is called the womanist. Patrice says, you don't. It is that you, because of what happened from slavery, when they took the men away or killed them, the women had to be strong and care for the family. Okay, so we know how strong women are. Let's train our little boys to become strong and responsible men. You are so right. Hello to you, Bunny. Hi, Mr. Smith. Thank you for holding. Welcome to the conversation. Margaret, you don't get these people first name, eh? What, Mr. Smith, what your first name is?
And good day, ladies.
Good day.
All right. Just a few points. One of the ladies, and I agree to an extent to say, okay, as far as when it comes to dating any man, or first they got to be God, then the man got to follow God, then basically the woman under the man. That's how I feel if the man really following God. Now, as far as saying sometimes like men let down women, I feel in defense of men, see like how you say, it's the values or what a woman might value, because here it is. You might have let's say you dating a man. He may not be able to give you the hundreds every week, or just say whatever money or whatever your values is, but he might be someone who willing to say, okay, but if she hungry, I'll really make sure I cook a meal for her. Now, say, where we then put this feminism and what is this and that, sometimes you have even the women might look at a situation where, say nowadays, say if a man cooking or what's not, it may be if you look at, oh, he's soft, he's feminine, I don't really want that or what's not. And then sometimes too, when it comes to, let's say, okay, when a woman was moving through the line, as soon as a woman feel, all right, sometimes needs is play a very factor on who she chooses. Like, say if a woman walking on the side of the road, I ain't just judging him, but just say a woman walking and a man have a car, okay, so that man look desirable to her because she now needs to have a car. As soon as she get a car, all of a sudden now, that same man, he don't look the same now no more. You know what I mean? And sometimes you notice that of a woman unemployed, a man could date a woman unemployed for months without asking her for anything. A woman, as soon as a man unemployed, she got to let the whole world know within a couple of days, this man ain't got no job, he ain't doing this. And then sometimes you all got to remember too, when it comes to even say from Bible days, Satan just want to cage y'all, he want to kill us. So that's why they say, woman thou art loose. See, they ain't trying to kill y'all, the system ain't really want to kill y'all. So sometimes they use y'all to get us. Because even if you look at the cultures or the whole society, black women have the most, like, somewhat say like running on with their man or just carrying on bad. Like, if you just look at all the cultures around the place, black women, you already have plenty say, you know, like, women walking around wearing anything nowadays, they bully in the road, you know what I mean? And so that's sometimes you always put us in a position like what role do you even want me to play? Because you basically want to do everything for yourself, and you just want to show me to the side. And then even on another note, when women also talking about, okay, men only after the sex or what's not, in a slick way, women like to use their looks to get what they want. Because you will go to a place, like, say now, the same woman, she'll walk past you and wouldn't even have no manners, but let you now know that she needs something from you. You will get all the good afternoons and the good mornings you want from out of nowhere. And you'll be like, wow, the other day you just wasn't being nice to me, but now that you need something, you won't be nice to me. So we have to protect ourselves too.
I tell you the truth, I agree with you when you talk about the fact that women and the attitude that they have now, that entitlement, that kind of thing, and also the just treating men the way the way a lot of them treat, very combative, very bullying behavior. And so this is what we're saying though. He also mentioned something about the women wanting to do everything. Well, as Kizzy pointed out at the very top of the show, a lot of you men, sir, have put women in that spot to feel as though she has to do everything. And it's made her angry and tough and masculine and bullying. That's why she could bully you, because she has to go what the next half don't necessarily do on a wide scale, she's had to do. And so she's become a man. She's become the alpha male. We're going to take a break right now and come back with more of the conversation after this. Stay close.
The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st through November 30th. When a hurricane alert is issued for your area, which indicates the possibility that you could experience hurricane conditions within 60 hours, you should begin the initial stages of preparation for the storm. When the storm is 48 hours away, a hurricane watch is issued. Once a watch is issued, be sure to get updates from the Met Office via television and radio. Get your battery-powered radio ready. Keep your emergency supply kit, blankets, and sleeping bags handy, and your children and pets indoors. Be sure you have extra cash and that your car has a full tank of gas. Fill all prescriptions. A hurricane warning means that a storm with winds of 74 miles per hour or more is 36 hours away. At this point, secure all windows with shutters and plywood. Place your valuables and records in waterproof containers and store them on the highest floor of your home or in the safest area. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
We play just like your kids. We text just like your kids. We learn. We even cook. We take selfies. We have hobbies. And we love sports. In every way, we are just like everyone else and enjoy the same things and live our lives every day, just like you do. So if you happen to meet us, treat us just like everyone else. Because at the end of the day, we're just like you. Living life with Down syndrome is simply living. To learn more about Down syndrome, call 727-2105. This message is brought to you by the Grand Bahama Down Syndrome Society.
As an artist, I travel all over the world and I find inspiration all around me. From the people and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty. From Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Watch our live channel to keep up with what's going on in the nation. News updates, we've got you covered. Tune into our radio stations with just a swipe. On the road, on the go, we're here with you. Available for download on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
To bring out that beauty. I see we have Cat Island on the line. I'm going to get that in just 1 second. Baldwin says on the live Facebook feed, Shenique, there is nothing more attractive to a man, in my opinion, than a woman who is accomplished, confident, independent, has her own money, etc., but can still allow a man to be a man and show him the respect and recognizes his role as a leader, provided, of course, that he is performing his role. That is a real woman.
Yes.
I think, you know what I think, Baldwin? Women make room for that, and they can certainly bow to that.
Exactly.
If a man, regardless of what she has,
I would bow to that right now.
Yeah,
Trust
regardless
me.
of what she has, but if that man is stepping up in her life and being a man and
I'm
doing what
telling you,
men do,
yes.
she would be like, honey, how you want this?
Yes.
You want me to heat this food up for you,
That's
or you?
right.
How you want me to do
Absolutely.
that?
And that's what brings out our beauty to the men.
Yes.
You know?
And that's a
I like
lot
that.
of
I love that.
Yes,
That is so,
and what I think within this culture, so many women are hardened and not perhaps all of what Baldwin described is because the men aren't coming up like that no more.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're expecting the trappings without giving the support for that. So if the woman doesn't have that kind of support, then it's very difficult for her to give those kind of trappings that they desire. So it's a cause and effect. And then I'd also like to say, based on some of the things he described, a lot of men also do not choose women the correct way either. So they choose just based on physical appearance, and then they find that the woman is not kind to them or sweet or loving or nurturing.
So they want kind women, though.
See, that's the thing. So they have to also
kind,
look
nurturing, loving, soft.
Correct. So a lot of times they're not choosing very feminine at their core women. They're choosing the vixen, what I call the dark feminine, right? More of the very, super sexy clothes and a lot of attitude. And then they expect her to turn into this sweet, nurturing, kind woman. And it's like, well, that's not what you chose. You chose very superficially. Yeah. So they also have to choose correctly. So you just, that's how it works.
Hi, Ezra. Thank you for holding, and thanks for calling from Cat Island. Welcome to the conversation.
Hey, Shenique, and hello to your guest.
Hello. Hi.
Good afternoon.
Very interesting topic. And Shenique, I really kept killing myself laughing at these comments you're reading and the guys calling in. I'm just laughing.
Yeah, the guys, listen, the guys are very blunt. They don't spare nothing.
Yeah, but I'm just laughing, right? Shenique, first of all, we got to ask ourselves in this society, what is a woman? What is a woman? Why were women created? Okay? We have to keep it in frame of mind. Our country and our world has changed. When we were growing up, Shenique, women used to be women. Women used to stay home, take care of the house, take care of the children, make sure when that man come home, everything is prepared, and that man go to work. The first word that God gave man after he kicked man out of the garden was work. Support that family. Listen to the biblical principle. A man who does not provide for his family is worse than an infidel. So we put women in this frame of mind, like you say, that they have to be that big monster out there to go get it. Twice now we got to put some of this blame on women.
Yeah.
What you're looking for? What type of man you're looking for? What is your future? What is your goals in life? So when you plan your goals, you will know what type of partner you will want to be, you will want to have in your life.
Yes.
It's the same thing with the man. If man have goals, you will plan what type of woman you want. But today, long as you got a good booty, some nice tits, and some long Peruvian hair and thing, we ain't no nothing but going by and taking care of our own hair. We cut them off and we put in wigs. And that's what we do. And then society has changed now. We allow our ladies or our children to grow up and become well-educated. They get good degrees and they get a good job. And look at it. And once those women, watch that set of women in our society right in Nassau. Take a look at Nassau, Shenique. These women who have good education, who have made a good start in life, who have their own house, their own car, their own businesses. Look what type of man they married.
Yeah,
they go home, sitting down in the house, riding around in their car,
that's Ezra. That is very true. It is
Go check it out.
It's very true, Ezra. A lot of these women who have achieved much and worked so hard for it, they have settled. And I always have this conversation with a friend of mine, and they pointed out as well, like that's another thing, a whole different conversation, that the women in this country are so either under aspiring when it comes to love, or feel that they cannot do better, and so they get involved with Tyrone.
No, Shenique, hear what happened. When you become successful in life, watch it. Your appetite change for different things.
Yes.
Because our motive and the way we accumulate our wealth without a man figure around, because we turn around and say, boy, I independent. I'm making my own money. But what happens when you reach home in that house and you become lonely?
That's right.
The TV can't take the place of a man.
Well, that's why they fall for whomever.
Yeah. So Shenique, why you don't keep the same talk show again tomorrow so that we can expand this, man?
Man, listen, I want you to call in earlier, man. You can't wait so late, because I'll tell you what tomorrow is. Ladies, now you all need to listen to this one. Ezra, I know you will still tune in tomorrow, because the guys are on tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic is decoding men speak. Yeah, I know I was going to get you to say what y'all really mean when y'all say what. Where you're trifling, or very interesting. You know, and men got a lot of things that they say, and boy, you got to have 10 doctorate degrees to kind of decipher all that. And
guess what? The Bible put it this way.
Quickly, Ezra, quickly.
People listen to things that have catching a sound to it. All right, and women like sometimes that little jive. You know, they want to smile, they want to laugh. So guys already learned that, so they throw it out, Shenique.
Oh,
tomorrow,
boy.
I will tune in to you, girl.
Yes, please tune in tomorrow, Ezra. I look forward to hearing from you as well. Today's show brought to you by Ministry of Finance, Almighty Computers, Might and Soul Sale, USA Flea Market, S&M Uniform, Money Managers, GM Appliances, and Club One Fitness Center. Stay close. The news at 6 is straight ahead.
The views and opinions expressed on this show or program are not a reflection of the Bahamas Radio Network and, as an extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Up first at 6. Joint operation. Here are the results of an early morning operation conducted by Bahamian and U.S. law enforcement officials. Fire investigation. Police Fire Division officers continue to probe an early morning blaze of a major warehouse.